All right, so before we start the module 9, so do you guys have a question, clarification, any concern regarding with your activities, regarding with our discussion last meeting, anything? So this is now your chance to ask those questions of yours. Anyone who has a question? Okay, so it seems that you guys don't have a question. So I don't know if you guys are being shy to ask your concerns. Anyway, so again, feel free to message me anytime if you have a question in the future. So for now, how about giving me a thumbs up if you guys are ready now to listen to our module 9 discussion? Okay, so thank you, Mr. Pakalman. So you are already ready. How about the others? Okay, is there only one who's ready to listen with the discussion module 9? Okay, one, two. Okay, how about the others? Okay, three. All right. So, okay. So, Mr. Zua, since you just joined the meeting, do you have a question? So far, question or clarification regarding with our module last meeting, regarding with the activities that you guys are doing right now? Any concern so far?
No, sir.
All right. So again, if you guys have a question, so don't be shy to ask. I'm just here, ready to help you anytime, okay, as long as I'm available. All right. So if you guys don't have a question for now, then let's start our discussion now. So take note that this one is the module 9. So we only have 3 modules in finals. That's why the name of this one is module 3. But then again, I just followed the arrangement or the, we call this one, followed the orders of our previous modules. So module 6 and then module 7, 8, and 9 for the finals. All right, so in module 9, we'll discuss the visual basic looping, okay, actually mostly on loopings, and then some data files, and then some error handling. Okay, so we will try to finish the visual basic looping right now. So I think that's slide 1 to slide 40. Okay, so for the 3 meetings or 3 part of our meeting right now, or 4 parts, so we'll try to finish at 1. So once we're done with that, we will not meet anymore. Okay, so I will not discuss the data file and error handling anymore since we don't have that much time anymore. So I would like you guys to have the remaining time next meeting, which will be on Thursday, and next meeting which will be on Monday, this coming April 12th, to be your time to finish the laboratories that I gave you. Okay, because 13, 14, and 15 will be your final exam. So that would be on next week already. So yeah, time is super fast. So right now we'll try to finish the module 9 already. All right, so without a further delay, let's start. So what is visual basic looping? So this is used for operations that are repeated for some number of times. So from the word looping, keeps on looping and that keeps on iterated many times. Okay, so a loop repeats until some specified condition at the beginning or end of the loop is met. Okay, so the condition could be on the beginning or it could be on the end. So later on, we'll discuss what is the beginning or end of condition. So for now, these are the things that you need to know when it comes to looping statements. So we have the do loop variations. So we have okay, 4 types of do loop variations. So we have the do while, do until, do loop while, and then do loop until. Okay, so no need to memorize for now. Just know or just familiarize those names. And then we have for loop and then while loop. Okay, so before we discuss the total of 6 loop variations, okay, so you have to know that we have a pre-test loops and then the post-test loops. So when I say pre-test, so from the word pre, okay, or pre, okay, so the condition we're at the very first line of your code. Okay. While in the post test case, so from the word post, okay, your condition, we're at the last, okay, of your code. All right, so that's the main difference. So we have the pretest wherein the condition is in the beginning, and then the post test wherein the condition is at the end of your code. Okay. So in here we have a total of 4 pre-test structures and then 2 post-test structures. So for the pre-test, we have the do while loop, do until loop, while, and then the for next. So again, I'm not requiring you guys to memorize this one, just familiarize the name, okay? And then the patterns we're in, what is the difference? How will you know if it's a pre-test or post-test? Well, basically, if the this one, the do loop, okay, is on the first one, that means that it is a post-test. But if the loop is at the last line, okay, meaning this is a pre-test structures. While the other two, the while, and then the for next is always the pre-test structures. Okay. So just take note that we have do loop. Okay. So regardless of while or until, that's a post-test structures. Okay. So without a further delay, let's discuss those structures one by one. So we have here the do while loop, do until loop, do loop while, do loop until, while, and then the for next structure. Okay. So to make it quick, okay, so all of those are the same. Yes, you guys heard me right. All of them are the same. So whatever is this structure can do, it can be also done by the other structure. Okay. So this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. So meaning whatever you can do on this structure, this do while loop structure, can be also done on the other or with the other structure. So what are the differences? So it's just that the other structures have a different syntax. So you could say that that is another approach for you to program a certain program. Okay. So here, it is basically giving you 6 kinds or 6 different ways of approach to program a certain program. Okay, so it's now your choice which one will you choose, to memorize and then use that as your looping structure. Okay, so in my case, I always use do while loop because this is the first one that I have learned. Okay, and then the others is also okay. So it completely depends on you guys. But since you guys are still learning, so we have to execute everything. Okay, so we have to show the result on do while loop structure. We have to show the result on do until loop structure. We have to solve or show the result on do loop while, do loop until, while, and then for next structure. Okay, so first, of course, you have to experience everything. Okay, those 6 structures before you could say that I will just stick to this one. Okay, since I already know how the other structure work, then I'll just simply focus with one structure and then memorize this one, and then I'd say not memorize others. Okay. Well, the most important thing in here is as long as you guys know how the other structures work, then that's already it. That's the point of learning. Okay? And then you can just choose one once you're done in learning all of those things. Anyway, so we have here the pre-test structure. So from the word pre-test, we have the conditions at the top. Okay. And then we have post-test structures, wherein we have the uh, loopings or the conditions at the end of your structure. Okay, and then another pretest. Okay, for the while, and then the for next structure. Right, so first let's discuss this do while loop. So we have this initialization statement. So what is this initialization statement? So this is where you put the initial value of your variable. Okay, since it's a loop, you have to indicate the initial value and then the final value of your loop. Okay, like for example, it will loop at starting from number 1 up to number 5. And then you also have to put here how many times it will, how many times it will loop So basically, you have to write here the increment value, okay, of your initial value. Let's say it will increment by 1. So let's say 1 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in total, it will loop 5 times, something like that. Okay. Anyway, so this is another thing that you need to know, okay, when it comes to structures. So you have to take note what structure that you have used. So if it's while, okay, so if it's while, the one thing that you need to know is the condition must be true for it to iterate, okay, or for it to work, or for it to execute the statements below. Okay, so once this one became false, then that's the time that it will stop looping. All right, so I hope that I'm clear with this one. While this one is still true, that it will keep on looping. Okay, but once this one became false, then that's the time that it will stop looping. Okay, and then the next one right here is the opposite of while. So we have until, meaning it will keep on executing or iterating if the condition were still false. Okay, so while the condition is false, this will keep on looping or iterating. So once this one became true, okay, then that's the time that it will stop looping. Okay, so that is why the while is a complete opposite of until. So yeah, those two are quite confusing. So I always stick with the true condition instead of having false condition, because this is what makes things complicated. Anyway, for the sake of learning, again, while is for the true condition, and then until is for the false condition. Okay, and basically they have the same ending point for the pretest structure. So we have the loop here and then loop right here. It's just that the structure that we have used is different. So we have while in here and then until in here. Right, so that's it for the first two pretest structure. The next one is the post-test structure. So right here, you can see that the do-while loop structure is the same with the do-loop-while structure. Yes, again, you guys heard me right. They are the same. It's just that the arrangement is, quite differs between those two. Wherein the do-while loop is the pre-test, okay, and then the do-loop-while is the post-test. So everything is the same. It's just that the arrangement of your condition were at the last instead of at the beginning. Okay, and then you also have to take note the ending point wherein we have loop while in here. But in here on the pretest, we only have loop. All right. So again, since we are using while, so this will keep on iterating while this one is true. Okay, and then it will stop iterating once this one is false. So we have the opposite. This one, of course, we have the loop until, wherein we also have the condition at the end of the code, wherein it will keep on iterating if this one is still false. However, once this one became true, okay, then that's the time that it will stop looping. Okay, again, this do loop until is the same with this do until loop. It's just that pre-test and post-test structure. Okay, that's where they differs with each other. Anyway, so yeah, that's the pre-test and then the post-test. And then we have another two bonus pre-tests, wherein we have the while and then the for next structure. So for the while, so this one is very straightforward. This one is the same with do while, okay? Right here, you do while and then loop. It's just that in here we have the while and then end while instead of loop right here. So yeah, this one is the same with do while. So while this one is true, then it will keep on iterating or keep on looping. But once this one became false, then that's the time that it will stop looping. All right. And then for the for next structure, so this is very, very okay to use if you want to count the initial value after the final value. And then, of course, you have to include here the incrementing value or the yeah, how many times it will increment, okay, for the next structure, okay, or for the next looping. So you have to indicate here the step value. So if it's by 1, then you have to put here 1. If it's by 2, then you have to put here by 2, and so on and so forth, so depending on your program. So here we have the initial value and then the final value. Let's say 1 to 5. So it will let's say increment by 1 only. So this will loop 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Okay. So while this one is still, true, then it will keep on initiating whatever is a statement down here. Okay. And then take note that you need to declare a variable, let's say dim x as integer. And then whatever is at x, you have to put it right here and at the last of your code also for the next structure. Hey, so for you guys to appreciate, for you guys to be able to appreciate this one, the 6 structures. Okay, so let's have an example. We have this exercise number 1, wherein displays a display sequence of numbers from 1 to 5 using message box. So we have here the do while, the do until, the post test. We have the do loop while, and then do loop until, and then the other 2 ones, which is while, and then the for next structure. So all of them will give us the same output. All right. So again, as I have mentioned a while ago, whatever you can do on the dual structure can be done with the other structure. The do until loop, the do loop while, the do loop until, the while and while, the for next structure. Okay, it's just that we have different. I mean, we have 6 approach. Okay, to program a certain program. Anyway, so let's see the result of this one. Okay, so let me just check if I have already done this one. Exercise number 1. So I guess not yet. Oops. Okay. Exercise number 1. So again, if you guys have a question, so feel free to ask me anything. Okay, so just wait a second. Okay, so we only need one component. This is a button. And then let me change the font size of this one into size 50 to make this one super big. And let me change this one from button 1 to calculate. There you go. So double click this one. That will lead you to the coding interface. And then I'll just copy this code right here. And then of course it will give you an error since we haven't declared the integer x in here. So you have to declare this one, dim x as integer. There you go. So basically we're using the dual loop structure. So we have initial value of 1, and then it will keep on looping while this condition is true, wherein x is less than or equal to 5. Okay, and then of course it will increment by 1 every loop. So the first value is 1. So plus 1. So the next loop is 2. So 2 is still less than or equal to 5. So still true. So it will keep on iterating. So 3 is still lesser. So it will iterate. 4 is still lesser, wherein it will still iterate. And then the 5 is still, not lesser, but equal to 5. So yeah, it will still iterate. However, once it reached the value of 6, wherein 6 is lesser or equal to 5, so this one is already false. So that is the time now that it will stop looping. So basically, this will loop 5 times. Right, so let me just change that one because the one that we have in here is an arrow. So let's see if we have that kind of result. And then of course we are showing the result on the message box. All right, so if I click this one, it will give me the first loop, okay, number 1. If I click OK, it will give me the second loop, number 2. If I click OK again, then it will give me the third loop, number 3, number 4, and then number 5. So as you guys can see, it looped 5 times already. So plus 1, it will become 6, wherein it will not proceed anymore since the condition were already false. So were you guys able to get that one? Hello? Were you guys listening? or are you guys now eating?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yes, coming from Miss Ambanag and Mr. Kalama said also yes. Anyway, so yeah, this will iterate 5 times. Okay, simple as that. And the others will also give you the same result. Okay, so if I copy this one and paste it right here. So we are now using the do until. Okay, so again, this one will keep on looping. If this one is still false, then it will stop looping once this one became true. Oops. Okay, forgot to change the question mark into arrow. The reason why we're having question mark in there is it cannot read this one as an arrow. So I'll just put it manually. So using the do until structure, so it will also iterate 5 times and then it will stop once it reach 6 because 6 is already greater than 5. We're in this condition, we're already true. So again, this is the opposite of while. So this will stop looping once this one became true. Okay, it will keep on looping while this one is false. All right, so I hope that you guys were able to follow that one. So that's it for the first two pre-tests. Okay, and then let's proceed to the post-test. So again, why post-test? Because our condition we're at the end of the code or the loop while structure. Oops, again, I forgot to change question mark. Anyway, so we have here number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then stop looping once it reach 6. Okay, since 6 is already uh, greater than 5, wherein this one is already false. Okay, and if I will show this one to you, the last one, of course, this will also give you the same result. Okay, so this will keep on looping while the condition is false, but once this one became true, and then that's the time that it will stop looping. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so all of them were just the same. Okay, so for the while and while, we just have the syntax. So the same condition, the same statements, just a different syntax. Okay, while and then end while. And of course, it will also give you the same result, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for the last one, we have the for next structure. Okay, so we have variable x in here. We're into iterate, let's see, 1 to 5. And then we'll show the result on the message box. Again, whatever is the variable in here must be the same with the variable on the last code or the last line. Calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right, so there you go. So those are, 6 structures, but, having the same result. Again, whatever you can do on this one structure can be done on the 5 other structures. Okay, so let's have this exercise number 2. So display the sequence of numbers from 10 to 25. So before we are only displaying 1 to 5, but in here we are now displaying 10 to 25. So very easy. Just change the initial value from 1 to 10 and then the 5 before into 25. And then of course it's incrementing by 1. So just put here x is equal to x plus 1. So if you have that code, then this will iterate 6 times. I mean 16 times, not 6 times. 16 times. Okay. Since 25 minus 10 is 15, but since we have started with 10, okay, so we have to count that one as 1 already. So if you're going to count that 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 25, you will get 16 times of iterations or 16 loops. So initial value is 10, 11, 13, 14, to 25. Okay, there you go. So Were you guys able to follow about exercise number 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So again, we're showing here the syntaxes for the all of the structures, but yeah, basically all of them will give you the same result. So I will not show to you guys the result of the others. Okay, the do until loop, the do loop while, the do loop until, and then the using while, and then using for next. Since okay, so sir, ang bilis mo. Okay, okay, alright, sorry. Okay, I'll make it slower for you guys. Since again, if we will, if I will not make it faster, then we'll have another meeting next meeting, and then you guys don't have a time anymore to finish the log number 9 and 10. This is 9 by 70. Yeah, 9 and 10. So as possible as I can, that's why I'm trying to finish this one now so that you guys can have the next meeting as your time to finish the laboratories that I gave you. Anyway, so let you guys know if I'm too fast or too slow or just fine. So again, I will not show the result of this one anymore, okay, since it will give you the same result. So for the best experience, okay, for the best outcome or best learning, so you guys should do this one on your own Visual Studio or Visual Basic. In that case, you'll be able to experience it on your own. You'll be able to modify this one on your own and then see what is the output or the result that that you have modified. All right. Okay, so any question so far regarding with exercise number 2? No? Question, guys. Yuhu! Makain na ba kayo? Alright. So nan coming from Miss Mabanag. How about the others? So guys, if you can reply, please reply. Okay. If you have a problem, please let me know so I can, address your problem as soon as possible. The sooner the better. All right. So I don't know anymore if you guys were really there or no. Anyway, so let's proceed to exercise number 3 since I'm not receiving any reply aside from Miss Mabanag. Okay, so we have here exercise number 3. Write the code to output numbers from 25 down to 10. Okay, so we have initial value of 25 and then a final value of 10, and it's decrementing by 1, and we are showing the result on a message box. Okay, so basically you will start with 25 and then it will keep on decrementing by 1 until it reaches the value of 10. Okay, so for the dual loop, while this one is true, then it will keep on iterating. So once this one became false, which is, let's say, 9, okay, which is not greater than or equal to 10 anymore, then that's the time that it will stop looping. Okay, so in here, let me show you guys the result. So initial number is 25, and then the final value is 10. So in here, if I click calculate, so it will give me the first loop. The first value is 25. Click OK. The second value is 24 until it reached the value of 10. Okay, there you go. So if I click OK one more time, okay, so it will not proceed anymore since 9 is not greater than or equal to 10 anymore. Okay, so this one will become false. So yeah, that's the time that it will stop looping. So in total, this one loops 16 times. Okay, if you're going to count that one, okay, starting from 25 up to 10. So yeah, that's it for the do while loop. So again, I will not show you guys the result on the other structures anymore. Okay, using do loop while, do until loop, do loop until, using while, using for next, since it will give us the same result. Okay, it will give us the same answer. It's just that they have different, they are differs when it comes to syntax. All right, so I will ask you guys, were you guys able to follow the exercise number 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how about the others?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So moving on. Oops. Okay, so moving on with the exercise. Not exercise. So we have here your turn. So write codes that print all the add numbers from 1 to 50 using do while loop structure. So if I'm not mistaken, I think I gave this one as your 6th quiz. So yeah, very, very easy. Just use do while loop structure, okay, and print all of the add numbers, okay. So just show that on a message box, okay. So I would like you guys to program this one and then show the result on the message box, and then I should only see add numbers from 1 to 50. Okay. All right. So since we don't have enough time anymore, so we'll just continue the rest on the part 2. So if you guys have a question, so we'll answer that one on part 2. So goodbye for now and see you guys later.